SK74 BCV 80044. BJ73WWN 80708, SK74 BDE 80048. So yes guys, bit of an impromptu video. I did do a Oxford bus spotting video not that long ago, but a few services that go from here probably weren't in the last video. This is I'm just at Oxford railway station at the moment. Basically, tomorrow's video is going to be an S3 full revisual Oxford to Chipping Norton. Now, I got off of my E1, which was Sunday's video, and then Bank Holiday Monday's video was ride on board on the way back. And we were stuck behind cyclists for about 5-10 minutes. Got in about 8 minutes late, I think. Not 8 minutes late, about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes late. So we got in at like 12:29 instead of 12:20, not 12:29, 1:24. We were due in, 1:29 we got in. So what we had to do, well, I had to walk quick and I missed it by about a second. It was an electric bus, it was an E400 EV, that would have been a 13:33, and it would have put me an hour in front of my schedule. But instead I'm just going to have a 60-minute bus spot, well it's not 60 minutes anymore, it's about 38 minutes bus spot session here at the railway station. Enjoy! Another one coming in, quite a frequent service by Stagecoach and Oxford Bus Company as 5, SK74 BCZ 80047. Of course, Stagecoach's version of the Blackbird Leys service is number 1, but Oxford Bus Company do it as a number 5. Also in stand over there is BJ73WWM, which I recorded come in. That'll do the next 400 out to Thornhill Park and Ride, which of course used to be a through service, but Botley Road is closed, so that's not happening. So yeah, the only real difference between Stagecoach Oxfordshire buses and the Oxford Bus Company buses that are the Smart Zone branding is Stagecoach use Enviro 400 EVs, whereas Oxford Bus Company use Wright Street Deck electro liners. That's the only difference, because the livery's the same, it's the green and blue with electro zone on it. That's the only difference. We should be seeing the next S3 in a second, because it's half hourly, but the one that leaves at 03, which will be 2:03, goes to Charlbury, not Chipping Norton. So I could have filmed that, but I want to film the Chipping Norton one, just because I feel like that's better. That's the more popular one. That's where it goes in the evenings, early mornings. The Charlbury one sort of dies off throughout the day, and there's no Sunday on Charlbury, which I've always found weird. I thought on Sundays it went via Charlbury, but I don't think it does. Maybe it does, I don't know. But obviously, because it's half hourly, alternating between Charlbury destination and Chipping Norton destination, I thought that it would be via Charlbury on a Sunday, but I remember looking, or I think I remember looking, and it said it wasn't. But of course it might be. Oh, an IET, surprise. Another one is a 5. This is what I mean with the same livery but different type of bus. So as you can see, it's got the exact same livery, it's just a different style of bus. BJ73WXK 80722. And there's also an Oxford Brookes University branded one in stand, which will do the next 5, which I think leaves in a couple of minutes. It leaves now. So he's gone into the middle there where the S3 goes until it pulls forward, which is very good because he can't block this 400 in. Anything coming in behind? No, there's not. So yeah, an Oxford Brookes University branded street deck electro liner on the 5. Normally, of course, you get the Smart Zone branded ones on any service that remains wholly within the Smart Zone area, which is why it needs to be an electric bus. Of course, you have service 8 to Barton done by both Stagecoach and Oxford Bus Group, which is a Smart Zone branded electric bus. But we've got a Brookes Bus 5 today. This is BJ73WWO 80709 on the 5 to Blackbird Leys. Brookes Bus branding. So yeah, I always find it weird that they share this route and the 8. So the 8th, though, is the same number across both, which is probably better. And the very high frequency now, City Sightseeing Oxford, that also uses street deck electroliner open tops, BJ73WWC 80296. Of course, that is part of the Oxford Bus Group, but not Oxford Bus Company, if you get what I mean. Here's BJ73WXK swinging back around to pull in right behind, and of course that's how you tell it's go ahead, because it's got the same advert style as Swindon's Bus Company, which is of course Go South Coast. Here's another Brooks bus, branded street deck electro liner. This one will be returning to depot, BJ73WWP 80710. It's quite a nice blind. Instead of just putting not in service, they actually specify where they're going on their dead run. I think that's very nice, because I think if they're not going back to the depot, it doesn't say returning to depot. I think it will just say not in service. Is BJ73WWC 80296 leaving again on the city tour around, well, you guessed it, the city. And Brooks bus BJ73WWN 80708 400 to Thornhill Park and Ride, with a few passengers on there. So yeah, of course, most buses in Oxford are electric. Of course, you have the Oxfordshire County Council made the, I think it's a law, I'm not really sure, any route that remains wholly within the Oxford Smart Zone region, hence the livery, has to use electric buses, but if it leaves, it doesn't, sort of. Yeah, here's the other not in service line, literally, sorry, not in service, BN24 ZXS 80771, not in service. But yeah, so the Oxford Smart Zone around the Oxford city centre, any route that remains wholly within it, for example the 1, 5 and 8, has to use electric buses as per the council. Which is of course why you see so many electric buses on the route. So the 1, the 5, the 8, the 14. The S3 has been using the electrics, but of course that usually sees just MMCs, so the Horsepath Road depot MMCs, which I believe are 73 plated. So I think they're from the same batch that Whitney have. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Yeah, so this video was not planned at all, because obviously right now I'd be like Woodstock. It's 2:03, so I don't actually know if that S3 to Charlbury is running. Not that I was going to get it, but maybe it's been cancelled, or it is just running really late, because I'm pretty sure it's due in 5 minutes before departure, so it gets in at 1:58 and then they leave again at 03, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's probably been cancelled. That BN24 ZXS that came in is going to go back out as a 400, which is the other half of the 400 that we've just seen leave. I'll speak about that in a minute. So yeah, they split that route, I believe, but I didn't know both sides of that route started here. I thought one started at Osney Island, because that's the point it got split, because it goes through Osney Island. I could be wrong though. Oh no, it's the other half that is the split, but I don't know. Anyway, BJ73WWP 80710, off to the depot now. And just to show how frequent the 1 and 5 are together, I believe they're every 7 to 8 minutes. And they alternate every 15 minutes on their own, if you know what I mean. It's the same with the 8 to Barton, it's like every 5 to 7 minutes, because they each run it. Maybe they run it every 10 minutes on their own, I'm not really sure. But this is going to be the Stagecoach variant of the 1 to Blackbird Leys via City Centre Westgate and Cowley Road. SK74BCZ 80047. Horsepath Road Depot bus, this one, obviously, with the Electro Here Birds Not Buses livery. I do like that the Enviro 400 EVs tell you what they are, so even if you're not an enthusiast, you'd know that's an Enviro 400 EV. If you just look, that's almost like a car. I like that they've done that. Okay, I've had a look, and that S3 at 1403, by the way it's now 1407, is running. The bus that's coming in from, I think they do Charlbury's all day, maybe they alternate, I don't know. That's coming in, I'll say from Charlbury, has actually come in 19 minutes late, which explains why it's not here yet. But it's meant to have a 10-minute waiting period, so yeah, not 5. And swinging around is a right street deck HEV SK66 HVC 80678 on the X15 with the Oxford Park and Ride branding, listing all the different park and rides. Very nice. That, by the way, is a go-ahead Oxford Bus Group bus, but it isn't Oxford Bus Company. It is, I think it's Thames Travel that do those routes. I could be wrong though, I'm not sure. Let me know. It is actually quite funny. They do all the X routes, so X1, X15, X3, I think, from Oxford, but they take so long. Like, that X15 goes to Whitney, I think, or is it Abingdon? It's one of the two. But, or the X1, whatever it is, the one that goes to Whitney. And it takes bloody an hour and a half, hour and 45. Why would you get it? I don't know. Another tour bus, BJ73WVY 80292, coming in on City Sightseeing Oxford. And just over there at Friarswide Square is the terminating S1, which will come in here to turn around very shortly. Still waiting on that S3, but we've got another one. That's just how frequent it is. It's crazy. 2 at once, 1 and a 5. So yeah, as you can see, a 1 and a 5 have come in at once. SK74 BBO 80035, which will do the 1. Then you have BN24 ZXM 80767, which will do the 5. And that's followed by the really late OU61 AUR 15761, which will do the delayed 1403 S3 for Charlbury via Yarmsden. BJ73WVY 80292, now leaving, picking up 0 passengers. Okay, so he's come in as an X15 and he'll go back out as an X1, which goes to Wantage, so it must be X15 which goes to Whitney via, no, Abingdon via Whitney, I'm not sure, let me know. SK66 HVC 80678 on the X1 to Wantage. Following that is BN24 ZXS 80771 on the 400 to Thame, don't know, I'm calling it Thame. And behind that's BJ73WXK 80722, a 5 to Blackbird Leys, which, as you can see, it's why it's got the frequency, it's very busy. To be fair, not too late, only about 8 minutes late leaving. It's OU61 AUR 15761 on the S3 for Charlbury. And you can still see remnants of the old S5 branding on there. And the other Oxford Bus Group 5 is now swinging around. Well, I don't know what all that traffic was about. And Oxford Railway Station, in terms of buses, is actually quite quiet. I think this probably would count as a bus station as well, because of how much actually comes in and out. But yeah, the only 2 things here is a 1 for Blackbird Leys and a 5 for Blackbird Leys. Pretty boring at the moment. That S1 hasn't moved yet. It's been isolated because I believe they have a 20-minute layover here, something like that. But of course, back when it went through Botley Bridge, I believe it started from Gloucester Green, came through Friarswide, because it wouldn't be able to turn around there, and that's why that now says not in use, where it terminates at that bus stop, it doesn't begin. I think it went to Gloucester Green, which I'll probably pop down to, because this one will also get we'll get a bit of tube coaches in at the end, maybe. Probably not, actually. I can't be bothered.